summer is here, which means that Israel is usually packed with tourists, but it looks like the local tourism industry is staging a sluggish recovery. 1.76 million foreign visitors have entered Israel in the first 5 months of 2023, which is actually better than last year, but it's still does not compare to Israel's peak in 2019, which saw a record 2.03 million visitors during that same time period. Now, in 2022, Israel recorded 2.9 million entries into the country. And while it certainly looks like there is more room for recovery in Israel's tourism sector, the number of Israelis traveling abroad is certainly growing. Since January, Israelis have made more than 3.6 million trips abroad, which far exceeds pre-pandemic levels, and we're going to talk about why that's happening. Joining us now is Eran Brill. He is the General Manager of Superb Tourism Services. So talk to us a little bit about how the Israeli tourism sector is doing right now. What are the biggest challenges? Has anything become easier?
So nothing is becoming easier. Unfortunately, we're having a severe crisis as far as human resources, as far as manpower. Unfortunately, we're having very hard time to recruit new employees. The salaries, we're a tipping-based industry. So the salaries are not that high. People shifted from tourism that we had in 2019. We had a lot of human power, and they shifted to other industries, which now we're lacking of human power, and the response time is slower. We see that people are coming less and less to Israel because of the currency exchange right now. Israel is very expensive to tourists. This summer, for example, the US market, they prefer to go to Greece, they go to Italy, they travel even to France, and they try to skip Israel. A lot of tourists go to Jordan and Egypt, which are very cheap for the US market.
Right.
And skipping Israel, which before, in 2019, 2018 was the peak seasons when tourists came to Israel and combined them with Egypt and Israel. And unfortunately, today we're being left behind by this market that used to come to Israel and combine with those countries.
So, you know, that sky-high cost of living that we're talking about certainly is a barrier for tourists, but is that necessarily, I mean, is that a good or a bad thing? Because at the same time, do we have the infrastructure here even to be able to allow for so many foreign visitors?
So this is the problem you see right now at the airport. The queues are enormous. The lines for tourists coming into Israel, you can see that the queues are for the foreign passports are queuing up. They're being longer and longer. The airport is also lacking of human manpower, and they're not able to stand with all the travelers coming in and out. So people are forced to come 4 hours before to stand 2 hours in a queue. So the airport is too small.
Yeah.
It is. So the coming in and out is very tough.
Yeah.
The tourism sites, the restaurant, they're not keeping up as well. Yeah. So during June and May, you will see service levels going down because of those. Also in the hotel, the service levels are going down. Availability, response time, and reservations. Just getting a quote from a hotel or making a reservation not through online systems is much slower.
Yeah, it's if there is a room even available because of the lack of rooms. Okay, so what I'm also interested to know is just kind of what, you know, foreign visitors we're seeing. How are we seeing a change in where people are coming from?
So yes, of course, most tourists are coming right now. Post-COVID, we had the Chinese market that increased enormously, but right now, no tourists are coming from China. New markets are from Africa that increased incoming tourism from Africa, pilgrimage. South America tourism, pilgrimage increased recently.
Interesting.
Yeah, as well. U.S. market is keeping up as it was before the COVID. Russia, of course, we barely have any tourists. Central and Western Europe also as well. The recession is influencing a lot, and they're not coming as they used to.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously there's room for growth here. It's still positive. We're seeing an increase from last year.